I think we all just feel exhausted. We tried so hard last year to keep our teachers, who we know are so passionate about teaching, to have a safe environment in our schools, and no one listened.
That is Anisha Meneses. She is a high school senior in the Grapevine Colleyville School District in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And rather than focusing on the things most high school seniors are worried about, like making the honor roll or figuring out what to pack for college, Anisha is one of several North Texas students now worried about their classrooms becoming battlegrounds for right-wing politics. NBC's Antonia Hilton spoke to Anisha and her classmates about the far-right curriculum changes recently foisted on schools across North Texas. And Antonia Hilton, along with Mike Hixenbaugh, senior investigative reporter for NBC News, they joined me now, and they were co-hosts of the Peabody Award-winning podcast Southlake, which covered how America's racial history is taught to kids in suburban classrooms and how the right has responded to it. Their new podcast, Grapevine, continues that reporting on the religious far right targeting North Texas's public schools. Antonia and Mike, you guys are doing incredibly essential reporting. I'm so grateful for the reporting period and to join me on set to talk about this. We've talked about Patriot Mobile on this program before. Antonia, if you could talk to me a little bit about the sort of unlikely partnership of a right-wing phone company and school boards, and the way in which there's, you know, the handshake between those two things and the effect on teachers and students in North Texas.
Well, look, I think first, for anyone who's confused about why a cell phone company is involved in this, I think your explanation of dominionism earlier will help, because there's the school boards, that's the area of education, and then there's the area of business. And so it's one of the pillars in which people who are part of this movement, who believe that Christians are called to take control of these spaces, you know, it makes sense for them to do it in the business sphere as well. And then, you know, what we're seeing right now is that the folks involved in this movement, they're getting a signal all the way from our national politics, from the changing shape of our Supreme Court, and getting the sense that they can change things locally now. They can seize this moment. And so with a couple $100,000, which is a lot of money locally, but not a lot of money nationally, they're able to make big seismic shifts very quickly in local communities and completely change students' education and teachers' educational experiences and careers. And so that's what we're seeing. I mean, Amanda Guthrie, who you just met in that story, right? This is the practical implication for her. She's in the middle of teaching a lesson about Jamestown, the colony in Virginia, and she gets to a section of a passage that she has taught before that she always felt great about. And she tells me that she realizes that the passage describes slavery as foundational to the colony and to the founding of the United States. And because of laws passed and because of the new nature of her school board, she realizes, I can't finish reading this. And she accidentally says it out loud in front of her students. And that was the moment she realized she had to quit.
Wow. I mean, the self-censorship that these teachers have to go under threat, you know, the threat of punishment, the threat of expulsion, it's so similar to what's happening in, for example, states like Florida. What's interesting here is you talk about the return on investment that a company like Patriot Mobile gets, right? For a couple $100,000, you can reform, if you will, the way Texas public school students learn. In the process of doing this, Mike, they're also bringing in outside consultants that are sort of familiar in national politics. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely right. And we should mention, you know, we made many efforts to get Patriot Mobile to do interviews with us, and I even went to CPAC to try to talk with.
That is brave work, my friend.
Right, and they declined. So we don't have their perspective on what their motivation is and why they're doing this, but we can see that they do have a huge return on investment by investing in local school board races. For, you know, you threw $150,000 into a local school board race where you normally would spend $5,000. You have the power to really affect change. And, you know, one of the religious scholars we spoke to said, you know, when you think about this decades-long effort to really, since the 1960s, put prayer back in school, put God back in school. And now the new iteration of that is put God back in school and push LGBTQ out of school. If you're looking to affect that change and win the next generation, what better, and if you believe this is a spiritual battle for the heart and soul of the future of your country, what better place to fight it than in a classroom and a local school board? And, you know, our new podcast, Grapevine, really drills beyond that political story and into the lives of teachers and kids
who are dealing with
this. And so at the center of the story we tell over the course of 6 episodes, you hear from a teacher who has been accused by a mother in the midst of this political climate of convincing a transgender student to become trans. It's something we've heard from politicians like Ron DeSantis, that teachers are trying to do this. Well, in this district, a mom made that allegation against a teacher. And in a school district where these folks have taken control, you can see how this teacher's life was turned upside down, how the harassment hit her, how she was made to take books off her shelves, and completely change how she teaches kids.
I mean, there's the departure of these teachers from the system at large, what you talk about in this piece here. There is the way in which they have to self-censor and change their lesson plans. I do wonder about the students because, you know, in some of the reporting that I've done in Florida, the students very much see what's happening, and they do everything they can through speaking out, organizing, what have you, to push back. But there is such a limitation to what they can actually accomplish when they run up against the forces of government. What's happening in North Texas, and what do these students tell you about the changes that they're living through?
The word I keep hearing is exhausted and defeated from students right now. They tried in 2022, just in this last cycle, to put up a bit of a fight. They were, some of them, going door to door and talking to parents, neighbors who they've known for years, and tried to explain, hey, this is what's happening to our school. I can't vote yet. I'd so appreciate if you did X, Y, Z. And, you know, now they see that they have the board majority, that it's going to be a couple years before they even have another shot at taking the majority in a different direction. And so they're feeling like, well, that's it. That there goes my high school, you know, experience, that my high school culture. And so what I'm hearing from this group of kids is that, you know, they've lost some faith in adults, really, that the adults around them who they thought should shield them from politics and controversy, should allow them to be kids for just a little while longer, that they've messed up their job a bit. And now they're at the front lines. They're getting in front of microphones and podiums at school board meetings, and they're begging people to take action and to let them have a say in their own education.
Well, and to let them actually learn what happened in history and in American society. Great work, you guys. Indispensable, the work you're doing. Antonia Hilton and Mike Hixenbaugh, thank you both. The first 2 episodes of their new podcast series, Grapevine, from NBC News Studios, just dropped yesterday. You can find it by scanning the QR code on your screen right now.